Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to what is probably going to be about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes of awkward because it's been a while since you boys done this. I'm so lame, in fact, that I went to crack my third beer of the night and I was like, you know what? Let me just wait to crack it until I start recording. That sound awesome. So, yeah, total fucking douche move. I don't know why I thought that would be impressive, but here we are. Once upon a time, and still is, this was called the Grease Pole Podcast. It's been a long fucking time since it's been a regular thing. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, whole new setup behind your boy. Appropriate bunch of bird shit. There's a bunch that I'm looking at ahead of me as well, so it feels fitting to be doing this here. It really does. Feels good to just be doing it again in general. I say a lot. I make a lot of mouth noises here. If you listened a couple of years ago, you're familiar with that. So get ready for more mouth noises. I'm gonna take my first swig of this Mick Ultra here because I'm a dad. I'm almost 40. I'm trying to watch my figure. I care a lot about shit like that, so I drink healthy beer. So listen, this is the first formal episode that's been done in a long time, and forgive me off the jump here because I'm coming off of being very much overstimulated by fucking Shane McGowan, the Misfits, and Rancid and shit. Um, busy day. Didn't really start the way I wanted it to, but tried to make the best of it, which is what we're doing here. And life for me has changed drastically since the last time I've done this. Very much so, but I'm somebody that I'm a believer in the universe. I'm a believer in fate, right? Natural born killers, Mickey and Mallory Knox. You believe in fate, Mal? That's me. So, a lot of changes to shit. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, look around. Didn't look like this last time. Last time I was doing this shit. So, changes aren't always a bad thing, and that's coming from an obsessive compulsive fucker like me. And I've been rolling with them, man. You got to play the hand that you're dealt. What I've learned is, a really good friend of mine put me on to John Joseph, the PMA effect. And that kind of became what centered me for a long time. And basically what the PMA is, it stands for positive mental attitude. And I'm not going to sit here and fucking preach. That's really not what I'm trying to do. The book is on Amazon. The audio book is on Apple Books, I guess it's called. I don't fucking know. I don't know when I have the audio book. So, highly recommend if you kind of need something to kind of just snap your ass in gear. It did it for me. And the PMA has now become a mantra that I try my best to, implement throughout my daily life. Although, goddamn, some days are harder than others, as we all know. So, keeping the PMA, man. And I will say that this is probably, not probably, it is. This is the most at peace I've been in 37 years on this earth. A lot of that to bring it back to the birds because this is an Eagles podcast, right? Um, but I'm a little deeper than just a football team, but it is kind of coming off of the fact that we're defending champions again. The Birds won their second Super Bowl, so that was a good thing that did happen before the universe happened for me, before the PMA happened, before the PMA became really a staple of my day to day life. So, I'm in a stretch right now, man, where I kind of have to hustle harder than I ever have. But look, man, I'm no stranger to the grind. If you know me, you know that. And I was sitting there earlier today and I'm going, why the fuck not start this up again now, right? Why not add something else kind of to my plate, something else to get me going? Because I don't know. To me, I'm at my best when I'm in kind of balls to the wall mode. when I'm not getting a lot of sleep, when my brain is kind of moving from one thing to the other, when I stay stimulated, so to speak, and I'm not laying around like a fucking depressing Zoloft egg piece of shit, and eating cartons upon cartons of white chocolate raspberry Tillamook in one period of a fucking Flyers game. That's disgusting. No human being should do that. And I've done it. True story. Um, but we're trying to turn that around, man. So, in the middle of the hustle, here we go. Let's restart the pod, right? And, what better time to do it? I mean, the season just started. My goal was, I was like, I want to get it back up and running before the Dallas game week one. That's what I wanted to do. I did not. I did not do that, obviously. 24-20, Birds won. Thanks, CD Lamb. Dishpan hands, motherfucker. Um, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I don't know, man. Just patience. Bear with me because I used to have my good friend Justin as a producer to do all this stuff for me. So right now, there's going to be really no sound effects, no drops. It's probably not going to sound super fancy at all. It's not even going to sound medium fancy because I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing with technology. It's a miracle that I figured out how to hit the start recording button on this. So just bear with me, be patient, and it'll eventually become a semi serious operation, hopefully, at least as the season goes on. That was beer for the audio audience. So there's that. Life's going really good. Life's going really good. In short, that's what's been going on since I last babbled in front of a fucking microphone for however long. Um, so to everybody that's been there, to everybody that's entered my life, um, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Nothing but love to everybody. You don't really realize how many people kind of have your back or who does have your back until you need them to show up. And then when they do, it's like, here's your people. Anyway, life's been good. So the birds, let's get to the birds, right? That's why we're here. You guys don't give a fuck how my life's been. I just sat here and cracked a beer like an idiot. Um, I'm in manic mode today, if you guys couldn't tell. So Dallas last week, Jalen Carter committed a misdemeanor. Um, what I do have to say, and this is not a hot take like at all. This is for everybody that's on the East Coast. Can we stop with this fucking shit? Because like the night games are awesome if you have nowhere to be the next day. But when you have to get up at fucking 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning, like my stupid ass does to go to work, it kind of gets in the way when you have a weather delay. And then you're not, like the game's not getting over until after midnight. Um, I have never fallen asleep during an Eagles game in my life. First time for everything. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I have NFL Network on muted on the TV, so that's why my eyes keep darting all over the place from camera to NFL Network. That's probably not like super professional. YouTube influencers would tell you, but I don't really give a shit. I'm not influencing anybody, nor am I trying to. I'm just like a just a husky dude trying to babble into a mic with beer breath. So there's that. But the weather delay. I fell a fucking sleep with probably, I don't know, 4 to 5 minutes left in the game. I don't even know when I fell asleep. I just know I was woken up rather by the person who I was watching the game with, who was a Cowboys fan, yelling and screaming at the TV because CD Lamb has dishpan hands, and because of that, I thankfully dodged the bullet that is wearing a Cowboys jersey. So there's that. I don't have to scrub my fucking skin off in the shower and walk around like a they live person. to get that stench off me. So the Birds won, right? But there's you wanna see a win, obviously, but there was some good and some bad. Jalen looked, I mean, impressive. AJ Brown didn't do a whole lot, but as he just said, he was getting zoned the whole game. So if you're an AJ Brown fantasy owner, you had a rough day, but he'll be back. He'll be back, and more on that later. Um, Also, by the way, you know, I have to say, when it comes down to the hottest coach in the NFL, Nick Sirianni was. I was watching the game with two women, and don't get weird. It's not like that, so don't be gross. Cowboys fan who has no reason to say anything good about the Birds or anything Birds related, and a Packers fan. And they both confirmed Nick Sirianni, by the way, hot. Also, it's like the more Philly's aging him and stressing him, kind of the hotter he's getting, low key. Um, I really need to work on not saying so much, is what I'm figuring out as I'm doing this. So the Birds win. It feels like it's been an eternity at this point, right? Ever since a game's happened, you have to wait forever. And it's like the offseason seemed like it flew by. And now it feels like it's been fucking months since a game. So Sunday 425, we got the Chiefs. So let's go down a rabbit hole there on this matchup. And the first thing I really think of, okay, is it's just like Super Bowl 59. It's just like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, however fucking long it was. You've got to start fast, right? You absolutely have to. I, there's no way of knowing if you receive first or if you kick. That's obviously dependent on the coin toss, but whatever the initial outcome is, you have to start fast. Punch him in the mouth if you're on offense. You have to pressure Mahomes if you're on defense. Take that Arrowhead crowd out of the game because they are at home. They are at home, right? And I think about the Super Bowl and how many times the Birds got pressure with just four. They didn't bring anybody else at all. Um, this defense is a little younger now, a lot younger than it was Super Bowl 59, right? You don't have any, there's no Brandon Graham, no Josh Sweat, no Milton Williams along the defensive line, no Darius Slay, no Chauncey Gardner Johnson. You have Nolan Smith, who went from a rotational player now to a full time starter. And I fucking love Nolan Smith. He's one of my favorite players on the team. So it's not a knock on him, but again, this goes from kind of the turnover to the inexperience. Jalix Hunt is, a starter in his second year, third round pick last year. Josh Uche, first year, new on the squad. Moro Ajomo is up and coming, but, he's young and he's been rotational at this point. Ty Robinson, rookie third round pick. A lot more questions up front for the Birds than there was 6, 7 months ago. And this Kansas City offensive line looks a little better than it did as well. They took Josh Simmons in the first round, who already looks like a significant upgrade at left tackle over Kingsley Suamataia. Shout out to Samoan dudes, but he kicks inside to guard. So I'll be really curious to see what Vic Fangio, fucking English would help, dials up for Mahomes and this offense and see if it looks anything remotely like the Super Bowl. I don't think it will, but we'll get to kind of the Chiefs on offense in a minute. Again, we need no misdemeanors from Jalen Carter. No stupid shit, no hot Tua, right? Even though if you're going to do it on anybody, I don't spit on Mahomes. Don't spit on Mahomes. Just fucking, I don't know. Just blast him. One fucking time would be nice. Um, look, Jalen Carter was a problem for Mahomes in Super Bowl 59, and he's got to stay disciplined. This defense looks completely different without him. Just see that Dallas game, right? If you don't have him up front, This is not the same team. It's not the same defense. It's not nearly as effective. His presence creates opportunities for the rest of the defensive line to generate pressure. So him being there makes everybody more effective. Jordan Davis, Jalex Hunt, Nolan Smith, the fucking across the board. It doesn't matter who it is because he's going to eat those double teams. So no stupid shit out of Jalen Carter. And again, we've seen enough of it. Just the Dallas game was the most egregious example. My favorite part, real quick, to kind of take it back to that Thursday night game was the fucking guy in the middle of Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott, like when they spit on him. He had a Cowboys hoodie on. I don't know if he was a water boy or what the fuck. But he was just kind of sitting there like, hey, the fuck's going on? It made me laugh. If you noticed it, you get what I'm talking about. If not, go to YouTube. There's the clip. Um, Zach Bond and Jihad Campbell. This is Vic Fangio's newest asset. I love this first round pick by Howie Roseman this year. I feel like that's something we've been able to say for the last couple of drafts. You know, Zach Bond has become an all around stud from a special teamer in New Orleans to a fucking finalist for Defensive Player of the Year last year. Going back to last week's game, Campbell was a defensive bright spot for this team, for Vic Fangio. He looked great against Dallas, especially in coverage. That deep seam route by Jake Ferguson, where he kind of gets in there and breaks up Dak's throw. He's able to keep up with Jake Ferguson up the seam. The athleticism and the speed there was impressive. He also got credited with a forced fumble, him and Byron Young both on former Eagle Miles Sanders, and that kind of changed the tone of the game. So, and you remember Zach Bond's interception in Super Bowl 59, right? These two together are going to be a fucking problem for years, I believe. And they're absolutely capable of locking down the middle of the field on Mahomes. You can take away Travis Kelce, those crossing routes that Andy Reid loves to run, especially with no Rashi Rice there, suspended for the first 6 games. I'm excited to see what happens with Vic Fangio and how he kind of starts using these two guys, especially when he starts using Jihad Campbell coming off the edge. This is going to be a fun thing to watch. The health of Landon Dickerson as well. Hang on one second, beer me. First of all, in the interest of full disclosure, Landon Dickerson is my favorite Eagle. He's my favorite current Eagle. Love the guy. He left the Dallas game late with back problems. It's been bothering him. We've all been there, right? Um, but you saw what happened to that offensive line without him. It does not look the same at all. It really doesn't. And if Dallas is able to make that impact without Micah Parsons, imagine what Steve Spagnuolo is going to do for the Chiefs with the fucking all-pro defensive tackle and Chris Jones. Spags moves him all around the defensive line, and, you know, Dickerson's absolutely necessary to be able to contain him. And that's just like the Super Bowl. It's like you have the two best defensive tackles in the league in this game in Chris Jones and Jalen Carter. When the Birds have the ball, you gotta have 69 out there. Hey now, like you just have to. Landon Dickerson, he's got to be there to be able to contain Chris Jones. If not, this is going to be a long day for Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense. Live cough. That's awesome for you guys to hear. And my final thing is, and it's obvious, right? What's up with Xavier Worthy? He's probably not going to play. Looks like he's doubtful, I believe, which you kind of expected. And what the fuck was Travis Kelce doing? You know, well, it looked gross. It looked grosser than it really was. And that's probably because, like, Worthy's a little guy. So he looked like he was fucking dead. He's been limited in practice, but he dodged IR. He dodged surgery. His status for Sunday still unknown, which is a good thing for an Eagles secondary that could not stop a fucking nosebleed against Dallas last week, right? I mean, when you look at this Eagles secondary right now and all the parts that have moved around, that have moved on, until Vic Fangio gets this thing figured out, this is a favorable matchup on the outside. If it wasn't Mahomes back there and what's typically in his back pocket, you feel a lot better about this matchup. Same with Andy Reid on the sideline. You know, if this was any other you put this receiving core on any other fucking franchise and you feel good about this matchup because you have Hollywood Brown now as your wide receiver one for Kansas City, which, I mean, ask the Ravens how well that worked out for him 5 years ago. There's a reason they shipped his ass to Arizona, I think, after like 2 years. Then you have Juju Smith-Schuster, fucking hate that dude, and Jalen Royals, who is a rookie fourth-round pick out of Georgia. So not a lot going on for Mahomes, right? But you kind of know what's part of the situation when he's there. I can't speak very well today. That's what I've decided. Um, on paper, I like this matchup, though. It's just you have to deal with the Mahomes effect. But again, it all ties together. If that defensive line can get pressure, that's gonna allow your secondary to look a lot better, and your secondary can also allow your defensive line to look a lot better. Coverage sacks, so it's definitely a real thing. Those are kind of my thoughts on this game. It's funny because you always hear you hear people throughout the week basically being like, there's no way the Chiefs are not going to start 0-2. And it's like, well, I mean, fuck you, man. Like, it's not like, who do you think they're playing here? Like the fucking Titans or some shit or the Browns? Or, I mean, it's like they are playing the defending champs to just fucking beat them like they stole something back in February, 40-6, because that final score was not 40-22. Those two touchdowns were bullshit in garbage time. So let's just set the record straight there. And that, yes, might be homerism on an Eagles pod from an Eagles fan, but when the score of the game of the Super Bowl with less than 3 minutes left is 40-6, I mean, it is what it is at that point. Um, I'm going to give a couple of bets out as well because I'm not a degenerate gambler, but I do enjoy chasing that high. I do. So all of these odds discussed, for the record, are via the BetMGM app as of time of recording, which right now, by the way, kids, it's Friday evening. So these are probably going to change a little bit. Um, your spread is basically a pick 'em, right? The Birds are a 1 point favorite on the road. I'll play along there. Give me the Birds -1, but as you know, these lines can move as we get closer to kickoff. But right now, I will absolutely take the Birds -1. Hammer the fuck out of A.J. Brown this week. Hammer A.J. Brown. He had a nice game in both Super Bowls against the Chiefs. I'm going to take him anytime at +185. And I'm going to take the over as well on his receiving yards at 66.5. I also like the over on Saquon's receiving yards at 13.5. Give me passing yards as well. I'll take the under on Mahomes at 243.5 and the over on Jalen at 198.5, although I don't love either one. Um, this is where we start talking about like you chase and you're kind of you want to get a better payout, so you start talking yourself into shit. You'll find out as the season goes on as I give out bets. Please don't fucking listen to any of them. I come close constantly and don't ever hit. It's funny I'm giving out Saquon receiving yards because late last year, I don't remember the game. It was a Sunday 425 game though. Um, Might have been the Jacksonville game. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I bet Saquon the over on his receiving yards. It was 11.5 was the line. I bet the over, and I finished 2 yards shy. It cost me $1,800. So unless you want to just add more fucking frustration to your Sunday, don't pay attention to a fucking thing I'm saying. This is just something I want to do because it's a podcast and, betting generates interest and all that good shit. Uh, Give me Juju Smith Schuster anytime as well at +310. I can't stand the guy and he's a pesky bastard, but Mahomes has to throw to somebody. And Juju's got a history of fucking us. Super Bowl 57. See that. So $10 bet on those, I think it's 7 or 8 legs, get you $810. If you bet it, I'm going to. I feel like I have to because I gave it out here now. So I'm a fucking fraud and an asshole if I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. But just full disclosure, as one human being to another, I don't ever feel like super confident in any of the bets I put in. I just put them in, and I hope I keep the PMA, and that's the one area of my life where the PMA has not benefited me yet, but I'm waiting for it. But if it doesn't, it showed up in plenty of other spots, so it's all good. Give me the birds in this one. Excuse me. Mm. I'll go birds 20, 26-21. Weird fucking score. I don't fucking know. I just spit that out here. I didn't want to like sit here and filibuster for 3 minutes live in front of a microphone and try to 26-21. That'll probably change in an hour. So I'll get back to you on that. Give me your thoughts in the comments on this matchup. Give me your thoughts on the bets. What are you going to bet on Sunday? Hell, I might tell you because I need all the help I can get trying to win some goddamn money. Um, I am going to do my best to commit to doing this every single week going forward. I'm not going to commit to Friday night yet. Some days might be Saturday. It kind of depends on the schedule. I hope this wasn't the clunkiest fucking shit you've ever heard in your life. I really hope not. I feel like it was just me spewing, which I guess is essentially what a podcast is, right? Also tried to keep it tight. I didn't want to just put the first thing out and it'd be like, oh wow, an hour and 18 minutes. The fuck is going on there? So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm getting back used to this again. It's been a while and I'm finding my groove again. I don't I don't know. I'm just kind of a dude pissing in the wind here. And this is what I do. I ramble and I talk in circles. So I'm going to tie a bow on this because if not, we'll be here until the fucking sun comes up. And your boy's got to work in the morning. So, and I got other shit to do, but I'm really excited I got this checked off the list. I hope you enjoyed it. Whatever you decided to not do to watch this, I hope it was worth, the almost half hour of your time. I hope it wasn't the worst half hour of your life. Stay tuned, follow, subscribe on YouTube would be much appreciated. And also on Instagram as well, at Greasepole Podcast. Probably will start posting there again. I suck at social media. I'm not good at it. I'm really fucking not. But I will try to be. I will try to be. I guess you kind of have to when you do fucking shit like this. You got to put stuff out there and go, hey, go listen to me babble for fucking 30 minutes. Would you please? So, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. I hope this wasn't the biggest waste of time you've ever had in your life. I'm going to tie a bow on this again now. I've said that twice. I am terrible at this. I circle a lot. So stay tuned, follow the socials, and I will tell you when I'm coming at you next. Hopefully sometime next week, and we'll get that schedule tightened up. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you next time. Fuck Mahomes, and as always, go Birds.